Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. Today is Wacky Wednesday, but it's also National Peach Melba Day, and it has been a while since I've celebrated like one of the food holidays. So I thought I would do that today, and I'm not quite sure how I did it, but it took quite a while yesterday. I thought, how am I going to do peach Melba and a wacky recipe? So I came up with peach Melba Linzer cookies, and we're going to do it using gummy bears. But before I get started, if this is your first time here, if you love food and fun, I love food and fun. My name's Cheri, so join me by hitting the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything new. And be sure to check the description below because you can find some details on how subscribing helps to feed the hungry. Okay, so let me just say the last 2 days in my kitchen have been a complete disaster. So Monday, I don't know if you all have seen those hot chocolate bombs. So basically you take a mold and you do one half chocolate and the other half chocolate. And then once you have your molds made, you pour in your powdered hot chocolate mix and maybe some marshmallows, and then you seal it together. So then when you put it in hot milk or hot water, it dissolves and the marshmallows pop to the top. And so it's like a bath bomb, but it's hot cocoa. And I'm so glad, Sheila, if you're watching, that you said your friend tried to make them at Christmas and they were really, really hard because they were extremely hard. And I think I'm pretty crafty. I don't know. You guys watch me make stuff and I don't really execute it that well on camera sometimes. But I do make a lot of crafts and that sort of thing. So I thought, surely I can do this. And I must have went through 5 or 6 different molds. And I thought, it's not me, it's the mold. So I ordered a couple other molds from Amazon, which will be in a few days. But I looked ahead on the calendar. So I was going to try to do it again next Monday, but I looked ahead on the calendar. So 2 weeks from this past Monday, I think it's the 25th, January 25th, I will be doing the hot cocoa bombs. But I have a special surprise for you guys. And if anybody looks ahead on the calendar to find out what food holiday that is, you might be able to figure out what I'm going to do with those. But anyway, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. But today we're going to start making our cookies. We are going to start with 1 stick of butter in our mixer here. One stick of butter that we're going to add a half a cup of sugar to. And then we're just going to turn our blender on. And once they're pretty well mixed, we can go ahead and add an egg in. Alright, and then we're also going to add in a tiny, tiny bit of vanilla. So you can add up to like a teaspoon, but I always put in a little bit of almond extract, as you guys know. So I'm going to do like about a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and then I'm going to do a full teaspoon of almond extract. So I just love the flavor that adds. And another thing that I add to this particular type of cookie, so this is just like a shortbread cookie, is a little bit of cardamom. So I'm just going to sprinkle a tiny bit in. I would say maybe a quarter of a teaspoon, eighth of a teaspoon. Sprinkle. We're not measuring anything today. All right, then we're going to turn our blender off for a second, and we are going to add in 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And I'm just going to add all of it at once. We're going to blend it again. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I do want to go ahead and scrape down my sides really quick, just to make sure we have all of our flour and everything incorporated. And I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take my paddle off of here. And my bowl. I didn't even realize I got my water cup sitting here. I don't need that for anything. I guess I need it if I get thirsty. Okay, so I'm going to scoop this out of the way. Go ahead and scrape the batter off of here. Okay, so now what I want to do is push this out of the way. Hopefully you guys can see. There we go. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on the countertop. And then I'm going to take just about half of this dough, and we're going to start to roll that out. Let me put it over here. That way I'm not blocking the camera. So, and it's pretty sticky. So you want to make sure you lay down enough flour. And just to try to keep it from sticking, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, roll it out. We'll do this one more time. There we go. Okay, so we want to roll this into about in between maybe an 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch. And I'm not very good at doing that. Like I always have one cookie, half of the side is this big and the other side is this big. But we'll try our best today. So these are kind of similar to like the jam cookies, like the thumbprint cookies that you put the jam in, except we're not going to put the jam in or the gummy bears until after our cookies have baked. So I have got, and you can use whatever type of cookie cutter you want, but I've just got a fluted round biscuit cutter that I'm using. There we go. So we're going to pull up our scraps. And hold on here. Can I get this out without? Let's see. Can I get this one? I really don't want that one. But this one. Try not to get flour in the drawer. Okay. So I'm going to transfer these onto my cookie sheet. That I've lined with parchment paper. Looks like I've lined it twice with parchment paper. So we need to get rid of one of those sheets. Let's see here. That's for our other layer of cookies. That's for the cookies that we're going to cut the little hearts into. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see how many more we can get out of here. See, look at this one. It's thick on this side and like super thin over there. I did not do a good job. Okay. Take these three. See, I really like to try to use this to pull them up because otherwise, if I grab them with my hands, I tend to like stretch them out and then they're misshapen. And then when I try to sandwich them, one's usually bigger than the other. All right, so I'm going to roll my scraps together again. And if you start to roll the scraps together and they don't want to stick and kind of form back into a dough, just wet your hands a little bit and then that will help bring it all back together. Okay, so right there. So I've got the oven set to 350 degrees. I'm going to put these in there for about 10 minutes, but I'll start checking them right around 7. We really don't want them to get brown around the edges. We want to keep them nice and pretty, just like they are. And I almost forgot, while those are in the oven, we can go ahead and start working on the other side of the cookie that's going to actually have, I like to call it like stained glass. That's what I think it looks like, stained glass. Okay, so we're going to roll this out. A little more flour here. And again, we're looking for, I don't know, in between like an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch, I think. Okay, see how many we get out of here. I think we got 13 out of that last one. I'm going to go ahead and put these on my parchment. Try not to stretch them out. I really should be using my little, what do you call it? It's a spatula. It's a flipper. A couple more here. And I think we had, what, 13? We had a baker's dozen in the oven. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 here, 13 there, 1 extra. So we need to roll out 1 more. There we go. Actually, let's just see if I can get 2 more out of here. So that would give us a total of, which I don't think I can. Yeah, we're going to stop right there. Okay, so the only difference in this set of cookies versus what we have in the oven is we're going to use a little heart cookie cutter, or you can use whatever shape you want. And we're just going to go through and take out our little hearts. So I'm going to clean up my mess here, and hopefully by the time I get done with that, my cookies will be done, and I can swap them out and put these in. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to do our gummy bear. It's not really, yeah, I guess it is a filling, gummy bear filling. Okay, so once we have all of our cookies made, I've got all of the ones with the heart cutouts on one sheet of parchment, and I have the solid ones on another. So the ones that have the heart cutouts, I just want to take a little bit of powdered sugar, and we're going to sprinkle right over the top of all of our cookies. And I think I could have got 1 more cookie out of this, so this actually will yield about 16 cookies, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to push these to the side. We're going to grab our other cookies. Now, because this is a recipe I completely made up yesterday, it was a little bit of trial and error. So if you've made the thumbprint cookies that you have the jam in, you usually put the jam in before you put the cookie in the oven. Well, I had a bit of a problem doing that with gummy bears because they're not a of a gelatinous nature, I guess you would say. They're solid. So they actually have to kind of melt down, and it's really just hard to coordinate the cookie time with what it's going to take to melt this down and to become more of like a liquid. And what was happening was I was burning the cookies and these weren't done, or these got so hot they were bubbling over and the cookie wasn't done. So what I decided to do was cook the cookies first, bake off the cookies, and then what I did was I flipped these over, so we're working with the flat side here, and I put a gummy bear. So these are the peach gummy bears on each one. And then I also took a couple of gummy bears and I kind of cut them a little bit, just like this. So it takes just about 2 gummy bears per cookie. And then I also took a raspberry gummy bear, cut it into little pieces. So we have almost 2 whole gummy bears. Like 1 3/4 peach and like 1/4 of a raspberry. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop these not in the oven, but in the microwave. I'm gonna put them in the microwave for, I'm gonna guess about 20. I did these almost individually yesterday. The most I did yesterday was 2 at a time. So to do 4 at a time, this is trial and error today again, I guess a little bit. But I'm gonna say about 20 seconds. You don't really want them to get bubbling up because if they do, they're gonna go over the edges. You just want it to start to liquefy, and then we can press the top of our cookie on there. So we'll try this for about 20 seconds. Okay, so good news, bad news. Bad news, let's start with the good news. The good news is it did take roughly about 20-25 seconds for 4 of them. The bad news is if you do 4 at a time, sometimes the one side of the plate may get hotter than the other, so you might have one cookie that has the gummy bears bubbling up and the other cookie that the gummy bear hasn't even started to melt yet. So I would recommend doing them 1 or 2 at a time like I did yesterday. The other bad news is that I did not realize this ran out of memory about halfway through. So I used up all the peach and raspberry gummy bears, and so now we have these left, which is fine. I still want to show you guys what they look like when they come out of the microwave. So we'll do a couple at a time here. So again, I'm going to do flat side up, and we'll do a red and a green. How's that? Okay, so back to the microwave. And so you see, even with this, I started to do, and maybe it could be, I only know this from painting, that the different colors that come from, whatever they derive the color from, might be what's causing some of these to melt down quicker than others. So again, I would just do 1 at a time. So here's our red one. And I'm going to go ahead and put this guy back in there by himself. And that didn't take long at all. So when it starts to bubble up like that, I kind of let it subside, let the bubbles go down before I add my cookie that goes on top. So I don't want all those big bubbles right in the middle. So that should be good. We can drop him right on top there. So wouldn't the red and the green be really pretty at Christmas time? Okay, so let's do, I'm going to try to put both of these in here at the same time. I think, yeah, I have some yellow ones hiding under there. So we'll do a yellow and, oh, what the heck, let's do a clear one. Probably won't show up very well because it doesn't have any color to it, but we'll try that and see. All right, so there's our clear one and our yellow one. I just think all the colors are so pretty. Yeah, except for that one, it's clear. It's okay though. I really like the colored ones though. You know what I really want to try now? I want to try gummy worms. You know how you can buy them and it changes from one color to the next? I think that would be really pretty. I want to make like some rainbow ones of these. Anyway, I think they're just super cute. And again, if you don't like the Melba, the raspberry, the peach Melba, you can use any flavor you want. So this one's probably lime and lemon and maybe cherry. I'm not sure. So let's go ahead and give this a try. These are even better than the ones I tried yesterday because the gummy bears are still soft and warm and the cookie is still warm. Absolutely delicious. So I think they're so pretty. And I think it's probably easier if you made Linzer cookies with, jelly or jam. But when somebody says, those are so pretty, you can say, yep, and I made them with gummy bears. I just think it's a lot more fun. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what is like your favorite thing to make with gummy bears, or have you ever made anything with gummy bears? I'm gonna have to go on the internet and see because I bet there's quite a few things out there. Anyway, I thank you all so much for watching. I will see you Saturday. Saturday, I think, is hot and spicy food day. So we might do a slow cooker Saturday or a super simple Saturday. I'm not sure yet, but I will see you then. Bye.